Hello, I'm Bood FM and welcome to my channel and welcome to Bood in the Hood too. Now if you're a long time subscriber and you subscribed last year for FM17, you'll know my main series was with Huddersfield Town. The reason being was I'd done Stockport County for FM16 and it took a load of time. My wife wasn't, she's used to it now, but she wasn't then. And she said to me, I'll let you do one more series, but it has to be with Huddersfield, my hometown club. So I did Huddersfield Town and it was ace. I had so much fun that she's let me carry on doing it, obviously. So I'm still here cracking on YouTube. But this isn't a second version of the series, no. I'll tell you why it's called Bood in the Hood 2 very soon. The main reason I'm doing this one-shot episode is because one of my favourite subscribers and fast becoming one of my friends online, Brian Kane, said to me, why don't you do the Alex Ferguson challenge because you're a Man United fan? Now, it's a great challenge. It's something I think I might try next year maybe, either online or off. I don't know if you know about it, the Alex Ferguson challenge. You have to take over, I think it's on the 6th of November. You take over on the date Fergie took over and you've just got to pick one of the bottom 3 teams. This is what it says on FM Scout. Pick a bottom 3 team in relegation, get them out of relegation, and then you've got to stay there for like 20 years and try and emulate Sir Alex Ferguson. Big challenge, right? I ain't got time for that. So I made my own challenge, as you can tell by the thumbnail and the title, and I've called it the Big Sam Challenge. Now it's going to be something similar. What I've done is I've holidayed to December the 1st, and I'm going to take over the team at the bottom of the league. And it just so happens that that team was Huddersfield Town. I'll show you in a minute. And then I've tried just to finish off the season doing a Sam Allardyce, because he's done it before, hasn't he, with a few teams really, where he took a team down, took a team over near the bottom, and kept him in the Premier League, and that's the plan. Am I going to be able to put my skills and my football manager philosophy to the test and keep Huddersfield, who are rock bottom, in the Premier League? It's going to be a tough challenge, and I'm going to show you what I did step by step. So shall we get into it? Yeah, shall we? Before we do though, don't be shady. Smash that like button, it really does help me. Hashtag help a Bood. If you are brand new, feel free to subscribe. And don't forget, hit the notification bell and you never miss an episode, will you? Right, now we can get into it. Let's do this. So here we are, and it's the 1st of December 2017. Now I've saved it in key points so I can take you through the journey and show you what I did. And this is before I took over. This is at the very start of the game. If you want to have a go yourself, I can put this save file out there for you and you can take over Huddersfield, try and do what I did and see if you can copy me. See if you can see how I did it, see if you can replicate that. Maybe it's a good challenge for you. So as you can see right there, Huddersfield are rock bottom. 14 games being played by everybody, and they've got 7 points. They've won 1 game, drawn 4, lost 9. Yeah, David Wagner's not having the greatest first season in the Premier League. The chairman's panicked, sacked him, and it's time for Bood to go back to the Hood. I love Huddersfield, you know. I was there yesterday, all day. Quite a good place. Anyway, let's see what I did. So here is the Huddersfield squad. Now, if you watched a lot of Premier League football this year, you might know this team. I know quite a few of the players because of my series. Because last year when I did my series, we started in the Championship, I got promoted. It was a great series, I loved doing it. The press conferences were a lot of fun. Got loads of guys from the community, when I used to be part of that community, to help me out. It was a lot of fun. But obviously this squad's a little bit different because they're going to the Premier League in the summer. And they made some signings. One of them signings is the best player in the team, Aaron Moy, who's currently injured. I had him on loan, I eventually signed him. Great player, they got him from Manchester City. But they've got some good players. They're just not world beaters. A lot of German players because Dave Wagner is technically a German, he's part German and American, isn't he? But they made some good signings. Jorgensen, you'll see this fella here, he's alright. I mean, a decent centre-half. I mean, obviously Aaron Moy, who's great in the middle. Great midfielder, really. But like I said, they're not world beaters. You've got Schindler, another good centre-half. They're all good players. Chris Lowe, I remember him being pretty good. He's still pretty decent. Left back. Kachunga, I think he was on loan last year. They've obviously signed him. Alright, he's a decent player. Mooney's a new signing, a striker who's okay. I know they signed a Belgian striker. What's his name? Deporte or something like that. He's down here, isn't he? Laurent Deporte. Yeah. Tom Ince is all the way down here. Looks okay though. His star rating's not very good. They've got Rob Green as a backup keeper. I know the number 1 keeper's on loan, Lossie. He was okay to be fair. It's decent. Danny Williams. Pretty good physicals. and American, decent players. They're all decent, but they're not doing it, are they, in the Premier League? But there's a lot of trouble here, really, because it's not as if I can do anything about it. Because not only is the window not open for another month, but I've got no money anyway. There's no money to spend. There's a bit of leeway. I think I've got about 50 grand to play with, so maybe I'll get someone in on loan, but I don't know who. I don't know who. I mean, we were a Premier League team, so we'll have to take a look at that in January. But for this first month, I'm just going to have to do what I can do. Now, you know me by now, some of you do anyway, and you know I've got a blueprint that I always follow, things I really believe in, that I think will do well. Maybe not necessarily win every game, not necessarily win your cups and leagues, but you'll be successful and you won't get the sack. So I'm going to do my stuff. When it comes to tactics, I'm not really that. I don't think tactics are the biggest, most important thing about being successful on this game. So that's why when it comes to the tactics, I'm going to stick with the ones I've been using a lot recently, the ones that I like. It's simple and they do a job for me, and that is the Manchester Central version 3 tactic. I like it a lot. I like playing an attacking 4-4-2. I start off standard mentality and then I go attacking. Most of you know about this tactic. It's available on Steam if you want to try it out. The other tactic I'm going to train them in is the wall. Some people like it out there. I know some people don't. I love it. It's a great tactic, especially for a team like ours. If I can nick a lead at an Old Trafford or something, I'm going to switch to the wall and defend the shit out of it. But yeah, mainly the central tactic, and I just might change its mentality depending on the game, depending on if we're home or away. So the tactics aren't the most important thing. I think staff is the most important thing, and look at the state of the staff. Now, if we go on the goal, we've got the 20th goalkeeping coaching levels, 16th for defence, 16th for attack, 20th for fitness. So my lads are knackered. 20th for mentality, 13th for technical, 20th for tactical coaching, 17th. When it comes to medical, we've got the worst in the league. The worst in the league. 2020 scouting. I'm not even worried about scouting yet because I can't really buy any players anyway. That's not an issue because I'm not worried about that. What I need to do is strip back this staff and rebuild it, and then once you rebuild it, go back to the board and expand it if you can. Not always going to be able to do that. We'll have to wait and see what Huddersfield say. You have to. Sometimes you can. Sometimes they'll say, no, you've not been here long enough. Piss off. But sometimes they will. Depends on your chairman, you know what I mean? So I'm going to strip the staff, rebuild it, and then we're going to have a look at what I've done. But also, I'm going to do something else that I've realised this year really does help. And that is, do the team training yourself and just defend. Just train defence. I've been doing it on loads of stuff and do really well. Your team's going to attack. The football players, they think about going forward anyway. But when they're on that training pitch, get them defence training, and it seems to work for me. And I think it'll work for Huddersfield. So yeah, strip back with staff, rebuild it, get the best possible staff I can get, train the team on defence only, maybe with the odd defence set piece, but mainly defensive positioning. Implement my tactic, let them get used to it, hopefully over the next few games, and we'll see how well I do. So we're going to jump in at different points in the future. So let's go to January and we'll see how well I've been doing. Welcome to the 1st of January, and yeah, I've had a lot of fun, to be fair. We're out of the relegation zone ish. We've got 18 points, but so have West Ham, you'll see that there, and Crystal Palace and Watford. Newcastle are only a point ahead of us on 19. You've got these lads on 16 and 15, so within, basically I could go bottom within a game or two. So it is tight, but at this moment in time, we're at least out of the relegation zone. We've got no players in this, don't worry about that. I've obviously not made any signings yet either, but I'm starting to get to know my team. I think I've got a good balance, but I had to change the tactic. And I changed it to this. Now, I didn't change any of the mechanics of it, none of the mentalities or roles, well, apart from the one role where I've switched one of my strikers to an attacking midfielder, and I've done that to suit the squad because I haven't got anything in the youth team. I've got the squad. I didn't have enough strikers to field 2 strikers at all times because I've just haven't got 4 good strikers, and I've got attacking midfield players, so it just made sense. And to be fair, it's done alright. I've called it the new Hudd, so it's basically the Central version 3, but with that different, and it does alright. It's got us out of the relegation zone. We've picked up a few points, and I'm starting to get to know the team. I've got some decent players, man. let's have a look at what we've been doing. So my first game in charge, we didn't get beat. I would have liked to have won it because Watford are down there with us, but we drew 2-2. I got goals from Van La Parra, who's like a winger, and Danny Williams, that really strong, hard-working central midfielder. But I got off to a point start anyway. But then I went away to Spurs, and straight off the bat, I didn't say anything in the press or nothing, but it's one of them games where you're thinking, look, we're down there at the bottom. Spurs, United, Chelsea's, anything you can claw off them is a good thing, but don't ever go into expecting to win. Just think about, you know, if we lose, we move on. We've got to try and get the points off the teams around us, really, haven't we? Even though we're well into the season. Realistically, you're really going to go and beat Spurs when they've got Harry Kane and players like that? Not really. And we didn't. We got battered. And we got beat 3-0. We bounced back in the next game. My first game at the John Smith Stadium. And I got a win. Fans were loving it. Tommy Smith, my right back, scored the goal. Just a solid performance, really. It was a pretty even game. We nicked a goal in the first half. And Leicester couldn't score. So yeah, 3 points. And then I followed that up with my next home game, and what a home game. This was brilliant. This has just made me love how putting this shirt on again. I had to dig it out of the wardrobe. So yeah, it's good to be back in the Huddersfield seat, I can't lie. And I was happy with this. We've got goals from Sabri, I think he's called. Schindler. And Deporte got 2. I've played him quite a bit up front. Quite like him. Big, strong lad, you know what I mean? But look at the average ratings. It was a fantastic performance and a fantastic 3 points. But this is what I was mentioning earlier. You can go somewhere like Stamford Bridge and get a 1-1. You've got to be happy. You've got to be happy with that. It's like a victory. And the fact that we had more chances than they did and held our own in possession, I was really buzzing with this. I think this was a cracking point. But then the Scousers came to town. Bloody Scousers. Gives a good idea, really. Salah. Wingela dum. He got a couple of goals. But again, we dominated. We didn't dominate. We had more possession and more chances, so I was disappointed, really. But their class was shone through and they beat us. But then the last game, all the way down to the South Coast, a lovely day out. Had an ice cream and a stick of rock. And we beat Bournemouth 2-1. Good game, really. Dominated the possession, I'd say. Nearly 60% of it. Less chances. They did score an own goal, but I mean, attacking midfielder, I can't say his name. What's he called? Abdelhamid Sabiri. That dude got me another goal, so I was really, really happy. We're doing pretty well. Now, obviously, I've still got no money. I was hoping that maybe when we got to the window, they might release some cash. They've only got 10 million in a bank, but you never know, they might borrow some. Take a risk, but they're not going to do that. So all I can think of is maybe getting a loan in, because anyone out there on a free hasn't played for a couple of months, and they'll be crap anyway. So the best options I've got is hopefully getting some good young players from maybe another Premier League team. And I did see one. He had a knock, but I thought he'd be good for us. And I really need a player in that position. Now I was maybe going to go for a striker and switch the 2 up top, but I'm starting to think, nah, let's stick with what we've got, because we've got the attacking midfield players. Stick with this tactic, it's doing alright. Picking up enough points. And let's stick with a 1 up top and strengthen that midfield. Welcome to the start of February. Obviously, I just got another month out of the way. I did only make 1 transfer. The player I wanted, I got. I was really happy with it. I'll show you who I got in a minute. But again, look, we're climbing up that league. I'm in 14th. So I'm not done too bad. We're on 25 points now. We're still only 3 points clear the relegation zone, so we're nowhere near safe. But at least going in the right direction. But yeah, buzzing with the player I got. Because on paper, you wouldn't think he's a world beater, but in real life, he's a cracking player. He's also a good player on here. And that player is Scott McTominay. Yeah. On loan, available for loan. He did have a knock, but we were allowed to still sign him anyway. So he's only just played a couple of games. And now, don't get me wrong, he's not set the world on fire yet. But when you actually watch him in a game, you can tell he's got a bit of class. And I think, well, I know, he will get better. Great physicals, works hard. Obviously, his passing in outstanding, but he's 21. I'm working on that, see if we can improve him, even though he's not our player. Now, obviously, when I took over at the start of December, they were bottom of the league, only had 7 points. So, I mean, you'll look at them average ratings. I've got no one on the 7. I mean, obviously, you've got Rob Green, you've got Heffley as well. He's only played 9 games, though. My top players like Chris Lowe, my left back, who has done really well for me. He's just nearly on a 7. Aaron Moy, Tommy Smith, Deporte's been brilliant, scored 7 goals. He scored in his tactic for me, I like him. I've got good players, but you're never gonna set the world alight with this squad. But it's a squad that's good enough to stay in the Premier League. Now here we are with my staff, and there's no greens, obviously. We've not got the best staff in the Premier League. but we're not bad. Watch. Goalkeeping, second. So we've got the second best goalkeeping coaches in the Premier League. The defence, second. Attack, second. Fitness, fifth. Mentality, fifth. Technical, third. Tactical, fourth. My management, third. When it comes to my fitness, sixth and second. So we were bottom in most things, weren't we? So that is a huge difference. Now, one thing I didn't change was my assistant. I couldn't really find anyone better, and he's not that great, but there's no one available. When it came to my staff, I got some great coaches. One guy that's always seems to be about is Paul McGuinness, and if you look at him, beast. So I've got a couple of coaches. I've got this fellow as well, Hans Visser, who I like a lot. We've also got 2 fitness coaches, 2 goalkeeping coaches. I've got a new head of youth as well, just in case we can get some good regens. Not that it really matters because I'm only doing 1 season. But yeah, honestly, I know some people don't care about the staff. It can be the major, I think this is the major thing, is your staff. And also, your team training. And it's boring. You have to keep going into it. And sometimes you might play a bit and forget shit. And you go on and you've not done it. So it's something you've got to try and remember to do. But I don't mind it because I think it's working. I genuinely do, just defence training. So the first game after I last showed you was against Burnley, and we won 1-0 against a team that's probably around there with us, that kind of same level as we are. And we deserve to win. The goal from Tom Ince, some good performances, and another good 3 points. Next up, it was against another good old Lancashire team. Bolton beat them 2-1. This was in the FA Cup 3rd round. I was starting to think, do you know what? Part of me thought, should I B team the FA Cup and just make sure we stay in the Premier League? That's the challenge. But I thought, nah, it's FA Cup, man. Let's try and do something in it. So yeah, I'm going for it as well. So I'm not B teamed it. I played my best team still. Next up, we went to the empty Hudd to play Manchester City, and we lost 3-1. Yeah, didn't expect anything different really. Then we went to Liverpool to play the nice Liverpool team. That is Everton. Got some family that are Everton fans, so I've always had a soft spot for them. So yeah, 1-1 draw. Again, I think this is a good result for us. Then it was back home and back to the FA Cup against Barnsley, a team that we should be beating, and we did beat them 3-1, and we got through to the next round. Happy days. And look at Deporte, he scores goals, doesn't he? And then the last game I played was against Palace, beat them 2-0. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. You can see why I'm doing well in the league. So I've got 13 games to go. I can't make any signings. My squad is what it is. I can't do anything with the staff. I've just got to stick with bloody boring defence training, stick with my tactic, and just go for it. But what I was getting, or what I was feeling already, was I think we could pick up enough points to complete the Big Sam Challenge. I genuinely do, even though really we're only 3 points off the bottom. So let's go to the end of the season and let's see if I did it. Let's go through the games and I'll show you if we did it or not. Maybe as we go through the games you can maybe think if I've done it or not. Yeah, Huddersfield 2-2 against West Brom. This was the best game ever. As a United fan, I absolutely freaking love this. 1-1, right? We took the lead in the 8th minute. They pulled one back, switched to the wall at various points, but then we really started to get battered. I felt like we were getting battered, but yeah, felt like a victory. Next up, FA Cup, 5th round. We spanked Middlesbrough 5-0. Absolutely battered. And then this, honestly, right in the middle here, some good form, I can tell you that for sure. We beat Newcastle 4-1. Happy days, honestly, seriously. McTominay and Aaron Moy in the middle. Awesome. West Ham came to town, we drew 1-1. Pretty decent team, though, to be fair. And bang even game, in my opinion. So we were lucky, really, because we scored our goal in the 92nd minute. Then we went down to the South Coast, played Southampton, and got one of my favourite kind of victories where you get your goal and defend like crazy, especially when you get battered. We got battered. And then we went to Wales and beat Swansea 2-0. Even game, Kachunga low. McTominay picked up a knock. He's quite injury prone, isn't he, I think. But then we went back to Everton and Liverpool in the FA Cup 6th round. I've really started to dream here that maybe we could do something. But yeah, the FA Cup dream was over, even though I think we were unlucky, really. Look at the stats of this game. We were close. But then Brighton came up and we got another 1-0. Honestly, defend training. I've got decent defenders. But now for months, all they've done is work on defence. The whole team's just worked on defence. And they get on that pitch and they've built from the back. And more times than not, we do well. Next game, Watford came up, and Watford were the team I played first. They were my first game when I took over, and we drew that game 2-2, and we drew again, 0-0 Bullfest, but again, another clean sheet. But then, went to the Emirates, and all my defence training went straight out the window. Arsenal, 4-2, but we scored 2 goals against them, which, you know, pretty decent. But then we went to Leicester, and again got another 1-0. We started to become the masters of the 1-0. But then in the next game, we got beat 2-0 away at Stoke. It's always tough, playing at Stoke. Yeah. Bit pissed off with this. Aaron Moy got injured as well. And then Spurs came to our place and did the 1-0 jobby on us. Yeah, and it was an own goal, which you don't want to be doing. Then we finished the season not only by beating a team as good as Chelsea, who were going for the title, or were going for the title, but we did a classic 1-0 on them. They had more chances, ball was quite even. Mooney, who ended up taking over, I don't know if you've noticed that, but last, say, 10 games of the season, he started edged out Deporte and was scoring goals for me, to be fair. Not a bad player. So yeah, 1-0 against Chelsea, and we finished with a win. Finished mid-table, 47 points. It's like 14 points off the drop zone in the end. So yeah, proper impressed. I have a blueprint, like I always say. Get the best staff you can get the most staff you can get. Train your team on nothing but defence. Get a nice simple tactic. Don't mess around with your tactic. Don't go, oh, I've got to change it to this, I've got to change it to that halfway through a game. I'm going to drop back a bit, now I'm going to go forward a bit. I think that is bollocks. You'll be more successful if you get a simple tactic and never touch it. Seriously. I know that maybe takes away some of the fun, but I just think people piss around with their tactics way too much. And yeah, that's proof. Proof I think my methods work. And I'm happy with that, pretty proud of it, to be fair. So there we go, that is the end of my Big Sam challenge. I think I did pretty well, going from the bottom to mid-table. Try out yourself. Holiday to the 1st of December and take over the bottom team and see what you can do for the rest of the year. That's as much fun as, say, winning the league. I swear, you'll get a lot of fun from playing it. I spent all day doing this yesterday, just playing it and playing it. It was so much fun. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this cheeky little-ish episode. If you did, smash that like button. If you are brand new, feel free to subscribe. And don't forget, hit that notification bell and you'll never, ever miss anything I do. And you won't want to miss anything I do because I've got a new series coming out pretty soon. I've got some other videos coming out this week. Hopefully I can pump out some content. I've just been pretty busy moving house. Right, I've been Booed. As always, you've been great. I'll see you next time.